Thank you. I just wanted to acknowledge quickly Ari's support for the National Conference of the Institute of Management Consultants back in 2016 in Sydney, Australia. We'll never forget that. Very much appreciated it. So thank you. Brendan Williams, based in Sydney, Australia, been in engineering and management consulting for over 25 years. One of the things that we really do as management consultants is provide support, advice. So my question is really around how to sell advice, because you're tending to have to give some sense of the advice you can provide before you're engaged. And if you give it all away before you're engaged, then you've got nothing left to sell. So what might a proposal look like when you're selling advice?
Well, first of all, great question, because this is the bane of every consultant's life in the world, is that they have a lot of intellectual property and IP in their mind. And the moment they have a call with a potential client, their instinct is to want to deliver value. Their instinct is want to give away and show the potential client they know what they're talking about. They think that it's all about delivering value and proving to the other person they can solve the problem. That's the mindset most consultants live in every single day, because that comes from the old notion of selling, where the idea is your job is to prove to the other person you're credible. Well, the problem with that, as you know, is everyone's doing it.
Yeah,
everyone's giving away information, and the truth is that there has to be a shift here where it's more of a doctor-patient relationship, where they're not giving away their IP, but instead they're diagnosing the problem. And they're not doing free consulting anymore. And I tell my clients, stop delivering value. Instead, provide clarity on the depth of their problems. That's a hard stop, meaning you don't have to deliver any more IP at all pre-sale. That's what they pay you for. See, here's what we just discovered, that your potential clients don't really care about how you solve their problem. What they care about is if you're the one to solve it or not. And the way they determine that is the way you are handling them and the way you build trust with them. And how you build deep trust with them is what I call going down the iceberg with them, where you peel back their issues and you amplify them, and you help them see their world in a different way that they themselves have not seen before. And by seeing, it's like doing an x-ray on a patient's shoulder problem. The doctor shows the x-ray, goes on the screen, and doctor says, here's the problem. And the patient goes, finally, someone understands my problem. And the prescription's written after that. See, in consulting, what do? We attempt to solve the problem with intellectual property to prove to the person we're credible. So I guess the big idea here is, and this goes to my new book coming out called The One Call Sale, where there has to be a line in the sand where you do not give away any IP at all pre-sale, but instead you get so good at unpacking their issues, not qualifying them, but going to a deeper level where you're expanding the issue and they're seeing it a different way. That's where they get the aha that says, this guy really understands me. It's almost like he works here. Wow, I need to work with him. And that's the shift that I coach consultants on. Hopefully that's helpful.
That's very helpful. I really like the doctor-patient analogy. And, of course, as consultants, we want to know that there's a queue of people waiting in the waiting room, eager to see us. We haven't got a contractual arrangement yet. They just want to come into the room. And we know that once they enter the room, they know they're going to be paying. So I suppose I like the analogy because it helps frame what you're giving away before engagement versus once you've been engaged.
Correct. Yeah. There has to be a line of pre-sale and post-sale. Intellectual property is delivered post-sale, not pre-sale. So we can talk more about this if you'd like for your consultants. But it was great to see you again.
Yeah, good. You too, Ari.